The next poem that we have to discuss, that we will discuss today, is a valediction of weeping. Let's first have a look at the first stanza. Let me pour forth my tears before thy face, whilst I stay, for thy face coins them, and thy stamp they bear, and by this mintage they are something worth, for thus they be pregnant of thee, fruits of much grief they are, emblems of more, when a tear falls, that thou fallest which it bore. So thou and I are nothing then, when on a diverse shore. Now, if we look at these lines, this is the first stanza of the poem. There are 9 lines in the poem. Let's have a look at the rhyme scheme of the poem. The first line ends with the word forth. Second line ends with here. The third with beer. So first is A, second will be B. Here and beer rhyme together, so it is B, B. Then worth and fourth line rhymes with the first one, so the rhyme scheme of the first 4 lines will be A, B, B, A. Fifth line is B and then D, so this is C, C. Then more, bore and shore, so this is D, D, D. A, B, B, A, C, C, D, D, D. So this will be the rhyme scheme of the stanza of a valediction of weeping. Of all the stanzas of a valediction of weeping, there are 3 stanzas in the poem. Each stanza consists of 9 lines. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, B, A, C, C, D, D, D. We just discussed it in detail. In the poem, the poet uses the imagery of money and cartographer and moon. Cartographer is a person who makes the maps, that how skillfully, how artistically he puts on those images of the countries on the ball, which is blank before that, and it becomes a globe later on. So he uses the imagery of money, of map maker and moon also. Otherwise the poem is not very difficult. It is a very simple poem in which the poet, in which the speaker addresses his beloved, and he uses imagery. Basically he wants to leave, and he asks his beloved not to weep. He uses imagery to reinforce the idea. Let's begin with the first stanza. Let me pour forth my tears before thy face, whilst I stay here. So the poet, the speaker intends to take leave from the beloved, and he says that till the time I am staying here, let me pour forth, let me throw some tears on your face. He says that let me cry in front of you, let me weep in front of you, for thy face coins them. Coins them here, that that when I will weep, the tears that I will shed, those tears will get the importance like the coins that through your face, because in those tears your face will be reflected, and thy stamp they bear, and by this mintage they are something worth. He says that since when I will cry in front of you, your image will be reflected in those tears, and it would give them importance like that of currency, and because of that stamp of your face in those tears, it will have an importance or significance worth money. So because of the reflection of your face in my tears, it will give them, that will be stamped in my tears, it will give them significance, it will give them importance. Because of that stamp on it, it will give them significance like that of money. For thus they be, so they will be pregnant of thee, so they will be full of you. So because since your face will be reflected in those tears, so they will contain your image in them. Fruits of much grief they are, emblems of more. So he says that these griefs, they are a symbol of my grief. They are the result of my inner grief and my sadness. When a tear falls, that thou fallest which it bore. So whenever a tear falls, that means you fall, because you are in that. Those tears, they embody you. You are present in them. So you, each time a tear falls from my eye, you fall in that. So thou and I are nothing then, when on a diver's shore. So he says that I and you are nothing after that, because we will not remain, because when on a diver's shore, that there will be such a flood of tears that we won't remain there. We cannot stand there. So he compares his tears. He says that when the tears are there, since I will cry in front of you, so because of grief of leaving you, those tears will have your reflection in it, and they will, because of your reflection, because of your image in it, they will gain the currency, they will gain the significance of that of money, of that of coins. So when each time when a tear falls, each time you fall in that, and I, after that, after having them fallen, you and I are nothing. He says that on a round ball. So he says that a workman that hath copies by can lay an Europe, Africa and Asia, and quickly make that which was nothing all. Now he gives the second metaphor of the map maker. He says that on the round ball, first there is a round ball. He is referring to the globe here. He says that first it is the round ball. So that person works very hard and he copies, he engraves those continents on the ball, and finally that becomes a globe, which was nothing all. So earlier it was nothing, it was a round ball, it was a flat ball. एक गेंद की सूरत और बेशुमार गेंदें होती हैं, जब ग्लोब बन जाता है तो इसकी सिग्निफिकेंस बढ़ जाती है. नाउ दिस इज द सेकंड मेटाफर दैट ही हैज यूज्ड हियर. So doth each tear, he compares it with the tears now. So doth each tear, that when that ball which was nothing and it was made a globe by the handwork of the man who engraved or who copied those continents on it, it became a globe. So he said that so doth each tear, that every time when your image is engraved in my tears, every time it happens, which thee doth wear, that you are wearing a globe, ye world, by that impression grow, till thy tears mixed with mine do overflow, this world by waters sent from thee, my heaven dissolved so. So he says that when since he is going to leave, so the beloved is also sorrowful, the beloved is also sad, and he says that a globe, ye world, by that impression grow. So by that impression, even that world and the globe that grows, till that tears mixed with mine, that both the tears of the beloved and the speaker, both they combine together and they bring in a flood, do overflow. They overflow so much, they overflow this world by wet waters sent from thee. So they overflow so much that they are so much of the tears that it causes a flood. My heaven dissolved so, it brings a destruction, it becomes the cause of the downfall of his world. So his world will be drowned. He says that by those tears that are combined together with his beloved's tears, he says that it will bring a downfall, it will bring a destruction of my world. Oh, more than moon. Now this is the third metaphor here. He says that more than the moon, draw not up seas to drown me in thy sphere. पानी चांद के साथ जो पानी का जो कशिश है, now he is referring it to that. He says that कि जिस तरह से चांद की वजह से जो पानी है उसकी सतह चढ़ जाती है, पानी की सी में पानी का फ्लो जो है वो ज़्यादा हो जाता है, to drown me in thy sphere. So he is comparing this with the tears of the beloved. He says that जिस तरह से पानी समंदर में जो है वो चांद की वजह से पानी की सतह चढ़ जाती है, इसी तरीके से मैं जो है वो स्पीकर कह रहे हैं कि ड्राउन मी इन दाई सफेयर, कि मैं उस सफेयर में डूब जाऊंगा. वीप मी नॉट डेड, दैट do not weep, do not cry, or else I will die. In thine arms I will die, in your arms, and forbear to teach the sea what it may do too soon. And he will bear, and he wants to teach the sea what it will do soon. So this is the third image of the moon, because of the level of water, because the level of water is disturbed. It changes with the moon. It usually rises during the first 14 days of the date of moon. So he says that in the same way it drowns me. Your tears, they will drown me in your field. Let not the wind example find, to do me more harm than it purposeth. Since thou and I sigh one another's breath, whoever sighs most is cruelest and hastes the other's death. He says that let us decide, let us not others find any example of this sort, that we to do me more harm than it purposeth, that let's not do harm to each other, let's not bring me harm. He says that since you and I, he says that we are two bodies and one soul. He says that we, each one of us, sigh each other's breath, because since we have got the same spirit. As we have discussed earlier also, that for John Donne, for him the doctrine of love or the treatment of love was different. He believed in two bodies and one soul. So here it is the same representation. He says that you and I, we are two bodies, we are apart, but we are close also, because our breath is same. And he says that whoever sighs most is cruelest. That whosoever is going to, either I or you, whosoever sighs more, whosoever weeps more, will be the cruelest, will be cruel enough and hastes the other's death. And that person who is more sad, more sorrowful, will cause the death of the other person also, because they are one soul in two bodies. So he has represented the idea of two bodies in and one soul. That since they are one soul, so whosoever will, even if one of them weeps more, because of those tears, because those tears, they will bring destruction. So because of those tears, he says that it will cause the death of both. He says that it's not that you cry more and because of your tears I will be drowned. He says that because of those more tears I will die, and since you are a part of me, you are also going to die. So in this way, it will bring death to both of them. We come to know his different treatment of love, his different treatment of two people who are in love.